In today's video, I'm going to showcase some recent Pokemon card pickups. Most of these cards were acquired from a local convention that I went to. It was mostly a sports card convention, but they had a variety of Pokemon cards as well. And then roughly about a fifth of these cards were acquired via either eBay or through a local card shop. We're going to look through all of these and enjoy them together, starting with the eBay and card shop pickups. So for starters, we have two graded cards. One of these was from eBay, and we'll take a look at that card right now. So we have the 2000 and 2023 Pokemon Classic Collection Ivysaur in Japanese. This is a PSA 10 Gem Mint card. And yeah, I mean, if you just look at it, it is a beautiful card. I love the way it looks. You have that gold holographic border with the really nice holographic pattern on the inside. It's a little hard to see on the camera, but there are stars in there. It's a really nice card. It's very clean looking too. I don't see myself ever getting that Pokemon Classic Collection box just due to its price, but I definitely love the way the cards look, and I got a really good price on this card. I wanted to start collecting more slabs, so I think this is a great way to start. We'll put this one down over here, and then now we'll go into the singles. I did put these in order of what I think was least interesting to most interesting. Honestly, subjectively, they're all interesting to me, but objectively, I think there is an order of least interesting to most. So let's go ahead and begin right now. We have this reverse holographic Seaking from Platinum. It is a really nice card. I believe I picked it up from a card shop. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing super special about it, but I do just really like the way the reverse rares look from the Diamond and Pearl as well as the Platinum series. Then coming up next, we have the Meowstic EX coming in from the XY series. This is from 2016. It's a little bit beat up. Well, definitely more than a little bit. I do really like cards from the XY series though, and this one was pretty dirt cheap, so I just decided to pick it up to add to the binder. Then up next, we have this first edition Donphan from the Neo series. It's really nothing too special. I mean, it is a first edition card, so that's pretty cool. It is a rare card, which I think is also pretty cool too. But yeah, I mean, the condition isn't the worst. I mean, it's not the best either. This is definitely moderately played, leaning towards heavily played. Yeah, I definitely do like this card, and it'll add great to the binder collection. And the next card up is Xerosic or Xerosic. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but this is the full art trainer card. I'm gonna say it's from XY, but I'm not entirely sure. It has a little bit of wear and tear to it as well. As you can see, there's a good bit of whitening on the back, but I do enjoy the full art trainer cards, and I really wanted to add this one to the collection. Moving on to the next card, we have a Vaporeon reverse holographic from the Platinum series. As I've mentioned before, I love the evolutions, and I thought this would make a great addition to the collection. Vaporeon is definitely up there as one of my favorites. So yeah, I mean, this card was not too expensive, not too cheap either. It's not in the worst condition. I would probably put it close to lightly played. And yeah, overall, I think it's a really nice card, and I'm very glad to have it to the collection. Then the second last card from this pile, we have a Dark Ivysaur, but this is a promo card. It is from the e-reader series, I believe. It was released in 2003. I don't quite recall what this is a promo card for. I'm not sure if this was for a tournament or if it was for some sort of competition, or if it was just part of some program. I'm actually really not sure. I'd have to do a little more research on it, but I was really thrilled with the way it looked. It's in pretty good condition. I would honestly put it as very close to near mint, and I guess we'll add this to the Ivysaur collection, which I'm slowly building up. So yeah, it's a really nice card, and yeah, I'm glad to have it. Then the final card from this pile, we have the Charizard from the Radiant collection. I believe this is from Generations, from the Radiant collection. This is, to me, a very nice card. I love the patterns and the artwork here on the fire type outline. The holographic itself is really cool with the image. You have the trainer there with Charizard. I believe it tells a whole story too if you have Charmeleon and Charmander as well. But overall, it is a really nice card. I decided to just pick it up. I've been seeing it around. It's in pretty good condition, I would say. Probably near mint. It's not worth a whole ton, but I did get it at a pretty good price. So yeah, pretty thrilled to add this to the collection as well. All right, now we move into the cards that I acquired at the convention. While I was at the convention, my main goals were looking for mostly vintage, but when I say that, there's a sweet spot that I like to collect. So I guess it's technically not even really vintage, but I mainly like to collect from the X and Y era and then the Diamond and Pearl / Platinum era. I keep an eye out for the EX era, and then I'm also game for anything that's WotC. So I bought most of these from one vendor. He was a really nice guy, and he even knew that some of his prices were a little outdated. So everything that I purchased, he took off a big chunk. In fact, this whole pile here was 30% off, which is pretty huge. My budget for this convention was $150 Canadian, or just under $110 USD, and this is what I decided to pick up with my money. So starting off with the graded card, we have a CGC 8.5 Crobat from EX Delta Species. This is the holographic. I love the Delta Species cards. I love the Delta Species series. It is absolutely my favorite from the EX series, and it's definitely up there with some of my favorite cards of all time. I wasn't necessarily on the lookout for this card in particular, but I did notice it in a pile of graded cards, and again, for 30% off of its value and just how much I enjoy the card, I decided to pick it up. But I think it's a pretty nice card. It'll definitely make for a nice addition to the graded collection, which to be honest is kind of lacking for me right now. So yeah, I just wanted to mainly add this to that growing part of my whole collection. So we'll put this down, we'll put this over here, and now we'll get into the real meat and potatoes of what I picked up. These are all singles, and again, I arranged them from what I thought was the least interesting to the most interesting. Obviously, it's sort of subjective, and I do really enjoy everything that I picked up. But anyways, yeah, we'll just go through it. Starting off, we have this illustration rare, or art rare because it is Japanese, Yveltal from the Japanese version of Paldea Evolved. I don't remember if it's Snow Hazard or Clayburst that this comes from. Regardless, I think it's a really nice card. It's one of my favorite IR/AR cards that comes out of that set. So for a cheap price, I decided to pick it up. We'll put this to the side, and then we'll get into the next one over here. We have a Kingdra EX coming in from the X and Y series. Again, it's nothing particularly that special. It was a decent price, and like I said before, I like to collect cards from the X and Y series, so I decided to just pick it up. Then coming up next, we have this Florges EX. Same excuse, I like cards from the XY series, even if there's nothing too special or spectacular about them. I obviously only started to collect in the Sword and Shield series, so I completely missed the boat on a lot of the XY and Sun and Moon cards, so I just decided to add this one to the collection. Alright, then up next, we have Necrozma GX. So I do like to collect Sun and Moon cards as well. I won't really collect regular GX cards, I will collect regular EX cards as you saw previously, but I don't mind full art cards and I don't mind rainbow rare cards. So this is a full art Necrozma GX coming in from Burning Shadows, I believe. Then up next, we have another Sun and Moon card. We have the Gumshoos GX coming in from Sun and Moon base. This is obviously the full art card. I think I already have this card in my collection, but I do enjoy just the novelty of these full art Sun and Moon cards, so I decided to pick it up for pretty cheap again. Then moving on to the next card, we have a Dodrio coming in from the Diamond and Pearl series. This is a reverse holographic card, and I love the reverse holographics from Platinum and Diamond and Pearl, as I mentioned probably pretty recently. But yeah, I mean, these cards were really cheap and I just decided to add them to the binder collection. We have another reverse from the Platinum series, it's Celio, and yeah, again, nothing too special, just like the look of the reverses. We're probably going to see a few more reverses here. We have Gastrodon coming in from the Diamond and Pearl series. Then up next, we have Pidgeotto coming in from the Diamond and Pearl series as well. I would say the condition on most of these cards ranges from lightly played to moderately played, at least the lower end cards. Then up next, we have this Regirock coming in from the Diamond and Pearl series as well. Again, another reverse holo. This is a reverse rare, so I thought it was pretty cool to add to the binder collection. Then I believe this is the last reverse holo from the Diamond and Pearl / Platinum series. We have a reverse rare Dialga. The Diamond and Pearl / Platinum series is extremely nostalgic to me, as when I was in school, these were the sets that people were mostly collecting and ripping packs and opening up starter decks for. These are the cards that I would see get traded around on the playground. So yeah, these are definitely a little more nostalgic for me than than say WotC or even the EX series. Putting that one down and picking up the next one, we have a Regigigas holographic coming in from Platinum. If the camera picks it up, there's a pretty sweet swirl in the corner there. This card is definitely a little bit beat up. And looking at it now, it's actually not even from Platinum. I believe it's from the Pop series. So yeah, that is a pretty cool card to have, but it is definitely very beat up. So yeah, just a binder spot for it. Then up next, we have this Cresselia coming in from Diamond and Pearl. It too is a holographic. There's definitely a lot of scratches on the holographic image over here. And the corners and edges aren't so hot either. Again, probably putting this towards heavily played, but it was just so cheap. And yeah, I just wanted to put it in my binder. Putting that one down. The next one, we have a Shiftry coming in from the Platinum series. This one is a holographic as well. And I have to hold it a little bit weird here because the camera doesn't want to focus. For fear of moving the card, I can't really show you the swirl, but there is a swirl right here as yeah, the card goes out of focus. But nevertheless, we have a holographic Shiftry, which I thought was pretty cool. Then up next, we have this Bastiodon coming in from the Platinum series as well. To be honest, this was around the time when I was out of the game as a kid for collecting Pokemon cards. I wasn't really collecting during the Platinum era per se, so I'm not actually at all sure what this SP means. I don't know what that GL means either, but these are pretty nice cards and I definitely like to collect them. Then up next, we have a Delcatty coming in from the Platinum series as well. This is also a holographic card. Again, these were pretty dirt cheap. They were just a few dollars each, and like I've said, the condition isn't amazing on them, but they make for great binder cards. So we're gonna put that one down, and then coming up next, we have a Rampardos coming in from the Diamond and Pearl series. I think I already have this card in my collection as well. No obvious swirls that I can see on the holographic pattern, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely not in the worst condition compared to some of the cards that we have been seeing, but it's still not in the best condition either. All right, moving along, we have a Dark Houndoom coming in from the EX series. This one is from 2004. This is Team Rocket Returns. Obviously a non-holographic card, but I just thought it was such a beautiful card. It's so cool too. If you look at the card art here, it kind of blends in with the fire type. It was a really cool art gimmick they did for the EX series. Either way, it is a really nice card. The condition itself is not bad at all. And yeah, this will go for a nice slot in the binder. Then up next, we have this holographic Japanese Dialga from Diamond and Pearl. I have no idea what set it's actually from or where it's from, but it looked like a really nice card. The colors are popping and the holographic is fantastic too. I love the way it contrasts with Dialga. The condition itself is pretty good. I mean, they just make Japanese cards so sturdy compared to the North American cards. But yeah, I thought this was a fantastic card to add for the pickup. Then up next, we have a Manectric EX. So something about me, I love collecting full art cards from the X and Y series. I mostly have the full art Pokemon cards, right, like Manectric EX in my collection, but I do want to start collecting more full art trainer cards. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I love the look of the full art cards. I think it's the texture. I think I love texture on cards, and even though there is texture on the modern full art cards too, there's just something about these slightly older full art cards that really catch my eye. So yeah, this will definitely go with the rest of its brethren. The condition is not super awesome on this card, to be honest with you, but I didn't get it for that much money. And yeah, this one is probably just going to go straight into the binder. All right, then we have a Magnezone EX. This is again from the XY series. This is another full art card. This is probably going to join Manectric side by side in the binder. And yeah, it's just there to fill up room and appease my collecting needs for the full art cards from the XY series. All right, then coming up next, we have this Jirachi from the Radiant collection as well. This can probably join Charizard. I love the patterns over here on the Psychic artwork. It flashes really nicely under the light. The holographic pattern on the actual artwork itself isn't too intense, but it definitely looks really neat. Overall, a pretty cool pickup. Then coming up next, we have Darkrai as a Diamond and Pearl promo card. This is a holographic card. Trying to look for any swirls. I don't see any. There's a little bit of scratching on the holographic surface there, but other than that, it's not in the worst of conditions. I mean, it definitely could be better, but it's not the worst condition. And this card will probably go along with the rest of the Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum holographics that I picked up. Then up next, we have a Crobat. So this is actually a Pop Series Crobat. I believe it comes in from the Heart Gold and Soul Silver era initially, but it was repurposed for the Pop Series, and you can see it has some really amazing reverse holographic patterns on it. I don't know if those reverse holo patterns are exclusive to the Pop Series or not, or if the Heart Gold Soul Silver era had these reverse holo patterns, but regardless, I just figured for the price and the aesthetic, I had to pick it up. Then up next, we have another Pop Series card. This is Azelf, obviously coming in from the Diamond and Pearl era, but this is repurposed for the Pop Series program. I guess that answers my question that this holographic pattern is more than likely for the Organized Play program. But yeah, I saw this card as well as the Crobat with their unique holographic patterns, and I just decided to pick them up. Then coming in next, but I don't believe is for the Pop Series program, it could be, I'm not entirely sure, is this Uxie. It has this really interesting and unique Pokeball in the center there that's pretty much faded, as well as the same reverse holographic pattern. This is as well from the Diamond and Pearl series, and it's probably from the exact same set that Azelf was from, as it looks like it's pretty much the same artwork. All we're just missing here is Mesprit, but the vendor didn't have Mesprit. Overall, this is the card, very happy to pick it up, but I definitely don't know too much about it. Alright, we only have 4 cards left to showcase here, but in my opinion, they do ramp up. Coming up next, we have this Mega Alakazam EX from the XY series. I love the whole aesthetic of this card, the Japanese writing surrounding Alakazam, the overall outline and artwork that's featured here. Definitely some fantastic stuff. The only thing it's missing is texture, but obviously you can't have that on every single card. But I like Alakazam as a Pokemon, and I thought this would be a really nice card to add to the collection, so I decided to just pick it up. Then moving on to the third last card, we have this Vaporeon EX coming in from Pokemon Generations. This is a really nice card, and I was super happy to pick it up. It was for a really great price too. As mentioned before, I'm really big into the Evolutions. I think this will add very nicely to my Evolution collection. As said before, the condition isn't the worst. I would probably put it at lightly played. I don't think I would go as far as moderately played, but regardless, it is going into the binder. I just love the way the artwork is. I love how the entire card itself is holographic, how the artwork bleeds into the Pokemon card itself, and I think Vaporeon was done so spot on here. Overall, super excited to add this one to the collection. Alright, the second last card, and this one is pretty fun. We have the Mega Lucario EX coming in from the XY series. I think this is from Furious Fists. I could be wrong. It's definitely one of the bigger pulls from the set. Now, this is everything I could want in a card. You have the texture, you have the fantastic colors, the holographic pattern that goes throughout the whole card. You have the Japanese text underneath Lucario itself. Such a fantastic pickup. The condition isn't the worst actually. I'd probably put it as very lightly played or potentially near mint. On the back, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's actually the front, which is not really usual, where I see a little bit of whitening at the bottom. Overall though, this is such a great card. I'm really happy to have it in my collection. Really excites me to see it. We'll put that one down, and then we'll go into the very last card, the very last pickup from the convention. And according to the vendor, this was packed fresh. I do believe it. There is some whitening on the corners, but for the most part, the card looks very clean. We have a Latias Delta Species holographic card. This is from 2005. And if you look at the card, it looks so clean. And again, this right here is some of my favorite art style that's featured on Pokemon cards. The holographic border with only the Pokemon being holographic is such a fantastic way to really make the Pokemon pop out. And again, I think the condition is really good. I don't know, I might send it in for grading. It probably wouldn't get a 10. It could get a 9. But regardless, it could be a really great card to just encapsulate for the rest of its life. But yeah, I mean, I know I've said this for every single card that I just showed you, but I was really happy to pick this one up. This belongs on the front page of a binder or even in a slab, but what I do with it, only time will tell. I'm still not sure. Regardless, that is my most recent Pokemon card haul. Again, most of these were from a convention, and then some of these were from eBay or an online card shop. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my most recent pickups. I'd love to know if you're at a card show or if you're just at a card shop, what cards do you normally look for? Do you have certain Pokemon that you collect, or do you just look for deals? I think I mostly look look for deals personally. There aren't too many cards that I outright try to look for. I just see what the best prices are, and if I like the look of the card / the Pokemon on it, I'm probably going to pick it up to add to my collection. But yeah, that being said, I'd love to know how you collect, how you buy your singles or your slabs, and until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.